Okay, everybody, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem, our Kayan's back with us. We're so happy. Thank you, Hashem.
Amen.
And you should always be healthy and well.
Amen.
And Baruch Hashem, we had a beautiful Neitz Minyan. Baruch Hashem, Hayidul Hashem Kitayv. So today we're going to continue our lessons in Likutey Halachos, in Hilchos Tzizit. We're in Halacha Hey. And today we're going to do letter Chav Vav, 26. 26, special letter, special number, right? Yud Kei Vav Kei.
Really?
26, Yud Kei Vav Kei. It's the numerical value.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so let's see what the Rebbe says today. V'zeh b'chinas Seudah Purim. So on Purim, we have... there are 5 mitzvahs to do on Purim, right? We have 5 mitzvahs, right? And one of the mitzvahs is the Seudah Purim, right? Sha'oz mitzvah le'echol leharbais b'Seudah. So on the day of Purim, it's a great day that we're supposed to enjoy, and we're supposed to partake in delicacies and enjoy the day, enjoy and be b'simcha. The whole idea of Purim is to really be simcha, right? To be male simcha, be full of joy. So sometimes when people eat, they feel good when they have something nice to eat. And this is part of what Chazal wanted us to do. Chazal wanted us to drink only on Purim, right? Only on Purim. And in Breslov, Rabbi Nachman was very against anyone drinking any kind of alcoholic beverages all year long. Why? Because it can, like we were learning, right? If you don't know how to raise the das, to raise the liquor up, it can knock the person down, right? So we're kind of vulnerable during the year, but when it comes to Purim, we have that special protection of Purim. And we can drink and we can do the right things because we're doing it in the context of a mitzvah, right? The Chazal taught us that we're supposed to drink the wine on Purim, right? So we're not just drinking because I want to drink, I enjoy the wine. I'm drinking because it's a mitzvah. So whenever you're doing a mitzvah, you have protection of the mitzvah, right? See the difference, right? Right. So, like for example, when you make kiddush, right? So someone makes kiddush on a cup of wine, right, on Shabbos, right? There's no mitzvah to drink more wine, right? You made the kiddush, that's it. You drank the wine. Purim, there's a special mitzvah that you drink more wine. Drink more wine. So if you drink normally, 1 cup, so Purim have 2 cups, right? Double what you drink more than you normally would drink. Because through that you can connect yourself back to the chut shel chesed, and that's what we're trying to do all the time. We're always trying to connect ourselves to that chut shel chesed. We're trying to connect ourselves back to that chesed chinam from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? We want to always. We don't feel that we're entitled to anything. A Jew should never feel they're entitled. Everything that we get is given to us by HaKadosh Baruch Hu because of His kindness, and that's the chut shel chesed. Nistaknin ha'achila b'kedusha. And now we can make a tikkun for our eating b'kedusha, right? Because what happened at this in the story of Purim, right? So everyone went to that party of Achashverosh, right? And they partook in the delicacies that he prepared for them, right? So now we sit down and we eat the Seudah because Chazal told us to eat the Seudah. So we're making now the repair. This eating is a repair for those that took part in that Seudah that was not proper, and they ate for the wrong reasons, and they wanted to be friends with the king. Why did they go there? They felt, and they wanted to trust. They felt that if we go to the party, so the king will be nice to us, and it'll be good for us, and so on. Right? It'll give us less taxes, right, Mordechai? Right? King will lower their taxes, right? Because they came to the party, right?
It's corrupt.
Corruption, right? Corruption, right? That's what it was. Why else would they have wanted to go? Why would they have gone to that party? They felt that they wanted to be close to the king. They wanted to find favor in that king.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes you have to do that in the real world.
No, this is the real world.
Then why did they go to him?
Because that was the mistake. That was the mistake. Again, they had that choice. The free choice. We understood. We understood. It was listen, Mordechai. It was at the end. It was at the end of the exile. Right. The exile was just at the end, and the second temple was going to be built. Right. It was just at the exit. At the end. So at that time, instead of saying, wow, we really we have to get closer to Hashem, because we're going to get out of this. We're really getting out of this. But what they do, they turned and they put their trust and their hope in Achashverosh.
Wasn't there also another timing issue here, like Moshe coming down the mountain, like something happened, they perceived it was something was late or something?
It was Achashverosh.
No, Achashverosh made, with Achashverosh, that was part of the reason why he made the party. What was the whole point he made the party? He said that the 70 years is up,
so it's not happening.
And it's not going to happen.
Right.
So now let's make a party, because I'm going to be in control. So what did he do? He took out the big day kahuna, right? This week's parsha, we learned about the big day kahuna, right? Right? We learned about all the beautiful vestments. The vestments. Is that the right word? The vestments of the Kohen Gadol, right? And what were the things he had in there? Gold and techelas. Wow. Kohen Gadol had techelas in his garment also, right? That blue. Tzitzit was connected to it. Techelas. That techelas pops up all the time, right? So what happened? So Achashverosh puts on the big day kahuna. He's prancing around in that, showing, I'm the priest now. And we sat there and we ate and we drank. Was that proper? I don't think so. Right?
I don't know what's proper anymore sometimes.
In other words, you see. In other words, again. Look. Let's put it this way. Wait, Mordechai. Wait a second.
Why do we say if a king enters
Mordechai, let's put it into context. So today it's a little hard for us to understand that because we don't really have any connection to the big day kahuna, right? But let's go back to that story. The destruction of the temple was just about 70 years ago. So there was some people there that still remember seeing it. That saw that. They saw the Kohen Gadol. They saw the Beis HaMikdash. You understand? It's a little bit different. That's a little bit different than we never saw it. Right? So it's hard for us to relate to that. But you saw that. And then you're able to just watch the king do this? And he had the kalim. We said the kalim they put on the table. The kalim on the table with the kalim from the Beis HaMikdash. Mikalim Shoinim, right? These were the kalim that came from the Beis HaMikdash. He put on the table. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If Chas v'Shalom, somebody would take a Sefer Torah and make a tablecloth out of it. Chas v'Shalom, Chas v'Chalila. I'm trying to just give you an example. Would you be able to sit at that table?
No, I couldn't.
Okay, I'm just trying to help you understand what I'm trying to say, because that's something you have an appreciation for, right? And if you saw it being used in that manner, you'd be repulsed by it.
So
right?
It seems to me, to just communicate my thought, if President Biden walked in that door right now, wouldn't you have to stand up and honor him?
I would not honor him.
You would not.
I would spit at him.
That's not a Torah concept, is it?
He's not a leader.
By title he is.
Well, who cares? Who gave him the title?
People.
Oh, okay. He's no leader. There are no leaders today. I got news for you. If Netanyahu walked in the door, I wouldn't stand up for him either.
Who?
If Netanyahu walked in the door, I wouldn't stand up for him. He's at least a yid. He has an neshama.
I thought there was something that said when someone of great power or whatever,
a king,
we should stand up and.
Yeah, he's not a king. We don't have any kings today. And they'll say that guy King Charles, right? Look how Hashem makes it. It's unbelievable, right? Look at these. These are our world leaders we have today, right? Again, I told you yesterday, I believe Hashem does this. Hashem does that again to give us a little bit of edge, a little edge. He's giving us to give us that edge. What's the edge? That we realize it can't be this guy that's running things. It can't be.
He's an idiot.
If you have a smart person, a good businessman, like you had let's say like Bloomberg or Giuliani, these guys, they were smart guys, and they were running the country. So he's running the country, But Hashem makes it. He puts up these guys there that are really buffoons. So you really could say to yourself, is he really running the country?
We know he's not running the country.
Thank you. Okay. So back to this. So that's why when we eat the Seudah Purim, we're making a rectification because now we're eating not because we're choosing. There's a mitzvah today to eat. There's a mitzvah to be besimcha on Purim, and that's why I'm eating. So if I eat for those reasons because I want to be full of joy, so then I make a rectification for that Seudah that the Jews partook at that time. Okay, Sasha, do you agree with that? Okay. Because then the food becomes, like we said, the soul food. It becomes mezayne the nishmasa. Because again, I'm eating it for a mitzvah. So when I eat, because I elect to eat something, because I want to eat that thing, so then that's if I make the bracha the right way, and I feel that I'm eating this in order to give vitality to my body to be able to serve Hashem, so then I can also make it mezayne d'shmasa. But here on Purim, we have a special mitzvah. We have to have a Seudah Purim. We have to do that. And then by doing that and eating for that reason, it becomes mezayne d'nishmasa. Through that reach toiv that comes from the nigun, where did the nigun come from? From the teichacha that was given, the rebuke that was given by the tzaddik, right? That caused the person to be able to do tshuva, to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is what happened at that time. Mordechai tzaddik, right? He taught the Jewish people. You can come back. You can do tshuva. You can return. You can come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when he does that and he was able to work with them, he takes all of the iniquities and he raises up the iniquities. He makes them into merits. Remember we learned that, right? And that's where the nigun comes from. That's the nigun. That's the song. And that's connected to the Tzizit, the 72. The song from the harp of Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to have 72 strings. Shu bechinas chut shel chesed, that's connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chut shel chesed. Zeh bechinas Mordechai. Now we have the name Mordechai. Let's discuss the name of Mordechai. Because he was the tzaddik that helped us do tshuva, right? Right, Mordechai was the one that told Esther Amalka, listen, you have a mission here. If it's not going to be you, who knows who it'll be? But it's going to be somebody. We will be saved. Mordechai. Ki al zeh shem nikra Mordechai al shem reach hatoiv. Sasha, this is unbelievable how Rav Nosson put this together.
He told her if it's not her, it's not going to happen.
No. If it's not you, there's going to be a salvation here. Okay. But it could be this is the whole purpose. You're in the world. You came here to do this now. This is your moment. Just take the moment.
Big sacrifice because it was the end of their marriage.
Yeah.
It's like giving her a get.
Yeah. It was a tough time. It was a do or die moment, right? I think that's how they say it, right? A do or die moment, right? Yeah. But look at this. Mordechai al Shem Nikra Mordechai. Why was he called Mordechai al Shem Reach HaToiv? Because Mordechai gave off a beautiful aroma. He gave off a beautiful scent. He gave off a beautiful scent that he helped everyone else also achieve the beautiful scent. That's what Mordechai did. He helped everyone do tshuva. He was able to do it. He did it by example. See, Mordechai tzaddik, what did he do? He ran into the streets and he gave off a za'aka gedola. The people saw, the Jewish people saw this man. Look what he's real. They saw he was real. He was crying in the streets. He understood what happened. They said, what are we doing here? It startled them. When they see a man that they knew this person was from the Anshe Knesset Gedolah, and they remembered him. And now this man is walking through the streets with sackcloth, right? He's walking through the streets with sackcloth and he's screaming. They said, well, what's going on here? Today someone would say he's crazy, right? They would say the man went crazy, right? But they took it for real. They saw that and they did tshuva.
It's probably related to the Torah when we were saying before that someone who gets the chocha in the wrong way, he brings out the
odor.
So
he did it in a good way. He did it in a good way. He did it in such a sweet way. And they saw that. So they realized they can do tshuva. They didn't abandon all of their wrong things. They knew what they did wrong. They knew that they were at that Seudah. They knew that they do the avodah. And they listened to him, and then they were able to do tshuva and then raise up all of those things that were really bad, very bad. But then they were able to raise them up and to also give them the reyach toiv. Unbelievable. Bechinas Mordechai. Look at this. Mordechai, that's in the Torah Minayin, Mordechai, Mordechai. Shu roish l'chol absamim v'arechos. That's the main one. Mordechai, right? This whatever it is.
Myrtle.
Myrtle? Yeah. No, it's not. Myrtle is the hadas. Myrtle is
Queen Esther.
Right. The Mordechai is a spice. What?
Myrrh.
Yeah, it's some kind of myrrh. I'm not sure what the spice is, but in the Ketairis, it was the head of the Ketairis, right? L'chol b'samim v'arechos, k'may shekosav, ata kach l'chol b'samim roish marderar. Take the spices. The roish, the main one, is marderar. Mordechai is the main one. He's the tzaddik. Marderar. V'chein Esther nikwes Hadassah. Remember yesterday we said Esther, remember you like that such, right? Yesterday, Hadassah's Gematria is 74, right? And then Ima Koilo makes 75. Esther Amalka was 75 when she was taken to be the queen. Bechinas Hadas Shemala Reach Toiv. The Hadas also, the myrtle branch, also gives off a nice aroma, right? The myrtle branch also smells nice. Because they were able to draw this chut shel chesed. They were able to draw the chut of chesed to Klal Yisrael. Both Mordechai and Esther, their names, Mordechai is Mordechai is Mordechai, this beautiful spice, right? And Esther Hadassah is also the myrtle branch. It also has a nice smell. Shu kol hanigun hamashke sagan. That's lesson 65. Remember we learned that lesson, right? Remember we talked about the mashke sagan. Shemisham kol harechos. That's where all the beautiful aroma comes from. That gan, all of the beautiful spices and the herbs that they're growing in, that they give off the beautiful aroma. Ka'yedei kol hamashke sagan nichne haman. Through this, you could, like we said yesterday, we were learning, right? We can subdue Haman via us doing tshuva. We don't necessarily have to go to battle. When we trust in the Rabbeinu Shalom, that's how we can do bad. That's the greatest battle, the way we do battle with our enemies. Haman, Amalek, Shuzumas HaNachash, which is connected to the Nachash. And what was the first mistake that was made in the world? It was through eating. Remember? The first sin was eating. The zoom of the Nachash, the impurity of that snake. Bechinas Akav Esav, the heel of Esav. Yaakov, the heel, Yaakov was called Yaakov. Why? Because he was holding on to the heel of Esav. Kamar Beisenu Zal Hama Min HaTorah Minayin Hamin HaEitz. Isn't that amazing, right? The Chazal tell us that, right? But look how Nassim brings it in for us, so beautiful over here. Hamin HaEitz. Haman Min HaTorah. How do you know Haman? Where do you see Haman was in the Torah, right? They asked, how do you know that Haman was in the Torah, right? So you know what the Gemara answers? Hamin ha'etz, from the tree. Hamin ha'etz, from the tree. That's Haman. Hamin ha'etz, Haman. Nimsa, ikazumas ha'nachash nimsach al yedei achilas eitz hadas toivara. So now we see that the whole idea of the achilas eitz hadas toivara came from this idea from the Nachash, caused us to eat in the wrong way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, don't eat it, wait, you'll eat it on Shabbos, don't eat it before Shabbos. The Nachash convinced us to eat in the wrong time, and that was a problem. Okay, that was a big problem that we still deal with. Now we go, and how do we knock them down? Through our kol. The call of Torah, the call of Tefillah, the voice of Torah, the voice of Tefillah, the voice of Hezbollah, speaking to the Rabbeinu Shalom, trusting in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how we can knock down our enemies. That's the way we really do it. It's through the study hall. When we stay in the Beis Medrash and we learn another Blat Gemara, when we learn another Dvar Halacha, when we learn some more Chassidus, when we learn whatever we're learning, whatever we're going to learn because we want to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how we can knock down our enemies. Hamashkes Hagan, because that's the kol that's Mashkes Hagan. Because whenever we learn Torah, so then we're watering, so to say, that gan that sends down the Reach Toiv from that gan to us. Shezeh Bechinas Pasuk es Koilecha Shemati Began Va'ira Shenismach Beparsha Lepasuk Hamina Eitz Kamavaya Sham. Okay, fine. So basically, we're learning the concept Mordechai ben Atayr Minayin. More derar. Esther we know is Haster. Aster, the Torah tells us, the Gemara asks, where does Esther Minatayr knows Haster? Aster is Panay, right? So that's Esther Minatayr Minayin, right? And Haman is Hamina Eitz. Now look what he says here. Ki bechinas es kailech shemati. I heard your voice. Es kailech shemati. Shu bechinas hakol. That's the call of tefillah, that's the call of davening, that's the call of being close to HaKadosh. That's the nigun, that's the mashkes hagan. What does it mean? The call is ma'orah the reach. The call, whenever we daven and we speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're ma'orah, we awaken the smell, the good smell. When we learn, when we daven, that causes good smells. It's interesting, we're learning this idea of minat, but again, why? Because again, we're learning the concept with Mordechai is more derar. He's the Rosh because of his summon, right? Shedimchach b'parshas lepasuk amina eitz kamavoya, right? It's connected to the parsha of Hamina eitz. Why? Because the voice. This is actually the tikkun for the impurity of the nachash, which is Haman Amalek. In other words, when I can daven and I can turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and I trust in Hashem and I don't listen to what the Nachash is saying. I don't listen to what the news is saying. I don't listen to the outside things. I listen to what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from me now. You can always ask, the most beautiful thing is when you come to a junction, you don't know what I should do. So you always have to ask yourself this. You say, I don't know, should I do this or not? If this is going to bring Nachas to Hashem, I'll do it. If it's not going to bring nachas to Hashem, I don't want to have any part in that. And that's the most beautiful thing we can always do. Anytime. Should I go here? Is this going to bring nachas to Hashem? I'll go. If I go here and it won't bring nachas to Hashem, well, why am I going to go? If I eat this and I'm going to bring nachas to Hashem, I'll do it. Anything will help us, and that's how we can make these repairs.
What if you don't know?
What?
What if you don't know?
Ask Hashem.
So then you ask, that's what his this is for. You know, we really do know. We really know. If you really want to know, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you that message. You get the message. We really do know.
Or you go to a tzaddik.
Yeah, you do that.
Totally teach us what to do.
What?
Sforim totally teach us what to do.
You just look in the Sefer, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always telling us what to do, right? Unbelievable.
Big Rav, too, they'll tell you.
Hmm?
Go to a big Rav. You go to a tzaddik.
Yeah.
Or you go to the grave of a tzaddik.
Yes, you could do that too. Or you could just talk to Hashem. Go to the forest and talk to Hashem. Go in your basement and talk to It doesn't matter. Sit in your car and talk to Hashem. Anywhere. Whatever works, okay? So that's what the idea that we're learning here about this idea. That's the tikkun for the Eitz Hadas. Why did Esther Amalka make the Seudah? You understand? Look what happened, what she did now. She made the Seudah, she made that party, and she said that she to invite the king, right, and Haman. Strange, right? The king, he was a very suspicious person, right? The king was a very suspicious person, right?
Paranoid.
Very paranoid, right? Very suspicious, very paranoid. So now Esther wants to make a party with him and his minister.
Prime Minister, yeah.
His minister, prime minister. He was the prime minister or was a minister? I don't know what he was. I say he was a doodlehead. But anyway, no, but again, then he comes to the party, and that's why when the second party, when he went out to the garden, he fell. Haman was talking to Esther. She was sitting on on whatever the recliner, the bed that they had there. He fell on the bed and he said, "Imay babayis, you want to take my wife from me in my house?" Remember he said that,
No, I was talking about actually.
Okay.
He fell on her, and that
The Megillah says that Haman fell on Esther, and then the king walked in. He says, you're going to take my wife from me in my house? In my house? Off with his, hang him up.
He hung him that second.
But it came through the Seudah. But again, it came through the Seudah. It was unbelievable. You think about it, right? It came through again. She made the Seudah, she made the party. Through the food, again, through the food, she was able to knock down the enemy. Through the food. Right? He had a little bit too much wine to drink, right? And then Haman had a little bit too much wine to drink. And then this is what happened, right? He was probably drunk, and that's why he fell on the bed, right? He was drunk as a skunk, they say, right? The expression, right? Okay, Shilbachin is mezayna de gufa. That's the idea of the mezayna de gufa, the food for the body. V'zaychen lebachin is mezayna de nishmasa. But again, and we can always do this. We can always take our food and raise up our food by being careful when we make the bracha, by being careful to recognize where it came from. Look, when we make the Borei Nefashos, we talk about the Borei Nefashos, Rabbis v'Chesadim, right? Hashem made a lot of Nefashos. Where are these souls? Right? When we make the after bracha for you had to drink your coffee. So you're talking about that Hashem made a lot of souls, and he right? What's he talking about these souls? You know why? Because in each one of those raindrops of water that came to water the coffee beans, and each one of the blades of grass that the cow drank, that ate, and it turned in. All of those were all souls. They're all souls. Rabbis v'chesroinan al kol ma sheberasa lahachiyas b'am nefesh kol chai, to give everyone sustenance, right? Everything is always trying to raise up. Everything is trying to raise up. We have in the categories, we have domain, right? I'm sorry, we'll go for 1 second. We have domain, it's inanimate objects, right? Domain, right? Inanimate objects. So you have minerals, rain, water, things of that nature, inanimate objects. Then you have someach, right? What's someach? Is all kind of vegetation, plants, growth. Anything that grows, that comes from the ground, is from the world of someach, right? Then we have the world of chai. Chai is all living things. Fish, birds, insects, animals, wild animals, domesticated animals. Everything is part of of chai. And then you have medaber, right? Medaber, human beings speaking. Everything is trying to always raise up to the next level. A domain wants to become a tzomeach, right? The domain, the inanimate object, wants to have some life to it, so it wants to become part of tzomeach. Tzomeach always wants to rise up to be part of chai, right? So the animal, a blade of grass, likes very much when a cow walks by, a sheep or a goat walks by and eats it, because now the grass now becomes part of the chai, so it raised itself up, right? Does everyone understand so far? Right? You have the inanimate object now becomes something, it's raised up because now it becomes part of tzomeach. Then it's eaten, it's consumed via an animal. When it's consumed by the animal, it raises up one now to become part of chai. Now, when that animal is slaughtered properly, and they make the blessing on that animal, right? The shaychet makes his blessing, and he makes the shechita, and he does the right way, and he trebers it, and he salts it the right way he's supposed to do. And then you prepare that meat. So now you're taking that and eating that, and now it becomes part of the medaber. Right? The Kuzari says that there's also one level, there's nefesh klal Yisrael. It's even a higher level. Right? Okay, whatever, but that's another thing. So what we're trying to constantly do is we're trying to always raise up the food to make it the mezayna de nishmasa. That's even the higher level. That's the highest level. To take that food and raise it, that's the greatest tikkun for the food, right? When you could take that food and make it now to become mezayna de nishmasa. Right? It's wonderful. It becomes part of a medaber. That's wonderful. It's wonderful. It becomes part of a yid, a part of a Jew. That's amazing, amazing, amazing. But if it could be that Jew can take it and be ma'alet and raise it up to become a zayna d'shmasa, that's the greatest level that the food can achieve. And how do you do that? Through our voice. Through our voice, through our talking to the Rabbeinu Shalom, through our limud HaTorah, through our words of tefillah. Shemisham gedelim kol hareichos, because in that field, that's where all the reichos, all the beautiful scents and aromas and of spices and herbs and everything come from that place. Shenimshach hayedei Mordechai ve'Esther. They come and they're brought down through Mordechai and Esther, because these are the tzaddik and the tzedekah. These are the tzaddik and the tzedekah. The tzaddik works with the guys, and the tzedekah, she works with the ladies to help them. And that's why they both have in their names. It's unbelievable. In their names, Esther, in her name is Esther Hadassah. She's the Hadassah. Right? She's the myrtle that she gives off the nice aroma. So does Mordechai, to understand the lesson. Unbelievable how Rav Nosson weaved this into the lesson. Is it not? I mean, it just, I think about it, and it's just mind-boggling how Rav Nosson was able to weave the story of Purim and the inner story of Purim into our lesson over here in Tzitzit. It's to me, it's mind-boggling how he did it so nice, and it just flows.
He says that Mordechai's name also means fragrance.
Yeah, we said that. Mordechai is Mor-Derar. He's the head, the best fragrance. Yeah, we said that, Mordechai, yeah.
Well, before, but never mind. Doesn't matter.
We said that Mordechai gives off the good fragrance, because Mordechai is working with the Jewish men, and working on helping them to make tshuva, to turn all of their iniquities and turn them all into merits, right? And he does that through the nice smell, right? And Esther Malka does that as well. Okay. That they're called those names because they gave off that beautiful scent, that beautiful aroma. So that's how this is for this idea over here. It's an amazing concept how the food, part of the whole idea of eating the Seudah Purim. What is the eating? Why do I eat the Seudah Purim? Because I'm making a tikkun. I'm supposed to make a tikkun for the eating that we ate at the Seudah from Achashverosh. And it's a tikkun for any kind of eating that we did. We can have that in mind also. If I overindulge sometimes here and there, whatever it was, I can have in mind at this Seudah now I want to rectify that. I want to raise this up as well. And we can do that, and by doing that, it brings a beautiful aroma to ourselves, because then all of the iniquities that we had, it makes them all beautiful, positive. They become merits, so they give off that positive aroma. It's so empowering. It's so wonderful that we can do these things. Any comments? Any comments? No. Wow. David, you want to say something?
No, it's horrible. No. I don't.
You're just thinking about the beautiful aroma, huh?
Well, I don't have a smell, so it's a little.
So that's why you're thinking about the aroma.
Thinking about it, yeah.
Today or ever?
For years.
Really?
For years,
yeah. Okay. Mitzvah Hashem, you'll have a refuah. You'll be able to smell.
That's a big deal.
Of all the senses, it's the least. Small kapara.
Okay, kapara. Okay, very good. So let's do one more letter. We have a little more time. I think we do, right?
I don't know.
Oh no, you were 7:30. You want to do the time? Okay, so we'll stop over here. Everyone, kol tuv.